Hello you beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If we've not met before, my name is Brenda Dunn and I go online by Art in Jest, and today we are going to take a look at something I am super excited about. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you might remember a while back I got introduced to Viviva Coloursheets. These guys have been doing amazing work in the watercolor world for quite some time now, and for Inktober of last year they were kind enough to send me a bunch of beautiful sketchbooks to try out. They also did a special Inktober palette, and I have used these for myself and in workshops for a number of years. But recently, Viviva came out with a set of metallics, and I am super excited to give these a try. Full disclosure, these guys are people that I have worked with before. I am predisposed to love this product. However, they did not ask me to do a review. This is something that I am just curious about and dying to try. So I ordered a whole bunch of them, and we are going to swatch these, and then we're going to figure out something to paint. If you've never tried these before, or even if you haven't, you're waiting to decide if you want to get the metallic set, stick around. Let's get to painting. So if you're new to the beauty of Viviva, one of the things that these little swatch cards are really great for is that they're super portable, and all of the Viviva sets come with the color kind of like super compacted into these little swatches. They're separated by sheets so that the color doesn't bleed into each other, and they all come with this little palette page on the very back that you can actually mix colors onto. This stuff lasts for ages. I have had a couple of different sets like this that I've gone through, and even my most heavily used colors, you can see this set is maybe like a year old, and I can still get pigment out of some of the samplings. Now, I'll be curious to see if the metallics have the same kind of staying power, because that's something that I'm super impressed by with Viviva. But what I want to do, just in the interest of really making those metallics shine, is try them out on very similar types of watercolor paper in white and in black. So I'm going to be doing my swatch tests on the Stonehenge Aqua cold press, and I'm actually going to do a side-by-side comparison so that we can see just the regular, probably typical use for these paint palettes on just white watercolor paper, and then I'm also going to swatch them on some black so that we can really make them shine. Once I've done some swatches, I'm also going to make a little painting with them. Let's give it a try. Okay, so first impressions after swatching, these are crazy pigmented. I expected that from Viviva, but especially with metallics, and they're branded as transparent watercolors, I'm super impressed with the opacity, which is really hard to get, especially with something opalescent or glittery or anything that's supposed to sort of have light refracting off of it. So the metallic-iness, technical term, I think does vary a little bit with the colors. They're super vivid overall as advertised, but there's a couple, particularly this first ruby red and then this initial green, which I think they called jade, that I just find a little bit less glittery than the others. I don't know if you can tell, they're all definitely beautifully shiny, sparkly, showing light coming off of them. I do really like that, but I think it's just less noticeable, especially in this first red and in the jade. I will say though that they all show up really beautifully on black, and I'm almost wondering if that's kind of their intended use, because when you put them on white, they're definitely lovely, but the transparency is a little bit more noticeable. The only other thing, and this is something that has come up in one of the other Viviva Coloursheets palettes, is that I feel like there's a little bit of color repetition. Now, this might be because this is a new venture for them and they're trying to figure out how to get all of these pretty pigments to play nicely with different shades, but I feel like really I've got a palette of red, a little bit of green, and then sort of blue, and that's it. I would love to see a little bit more color variation, but again, I suspect that's because they wanted to get out an option that was metallic and give us all a chance to try it before they apply it to other pigments. Overall, I'm super impressed, and one of the things that I really like is that at the very end, they put 2 color patches of the gold and 2 of the silver. I think probably understanding that most people who are getting metallic watercolors are probably going to use gold and silver really heavily. Also, I did notice when I mixed the silver or the gold with a warm or a cold tone, it definitely upped the saturation and gave a little bit more oomph to the rest of the color. So I think that was probably by design. that all is cool and well and good for the swatching, but you know, we never really know how paints are gonna play until we put them to test on an actual painting. So I'm gonna sketch something out and then we're gonna paint it with this fabulous metallic color sheet. Let's go. Did you guys have fun? I definitely did. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while I painted this lovely little Luna Moth. If you haven't done it already, strong recommend for taking these beautiful metallic watercolors to some black watercolor paper. It is definitely the place where these metallics shine. If you can't get enough, there are a bunch of links down below for other places that you can find me. And huge thank you goes out to all of the Patreon supporters who make these videos possible. You guys are truly the MVPs of all of my videos. Other than that, give these a shot if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.